Recently, the UN declared that online freedom is a human right that must be protected. The internet is one of the most powerful tools ever created. In modern society, it has become essential for communication, information, and even entertainment. One of the most visited sites, according to the monitoring website Alexa, is Reddit, clocking in as the 26th most visited website in the world. So what is Reddit? Reddit is often referred to as the front page of the internet. Reddit receives over 200 million unique visits per month, making it one of the most popular forum-based websites. It is often associated with concepts such as hive mind, echo chamber, and group mentality. Reddit is hailed by its users as a bastion of free speech, a description that has come under fire due to recent controversies surrounding censorship on its website. So how does Reddit work? It is a forum-style website that is completely user-generated content, aside from the occasional administrative announcement. The website has a default front page. Users who sign up with a specific username can customize their front page by subscribing to or unsubscribing to subreddits. Subreddits are areas of Reddit that are specific to certain interests. These subreddits range from r/news and r/cooking to less savory ideas such as r/kill-whitey and r/kiketown. This diversity of ideas has resulted in the popular metaphrase, "There really is a subreddit for everything." Reddit is completely anonymous. Posting personal information is strictly prohibited, even if it is made up. Now, what happens when millions of people are given complete anonymity and an echo chamber that will agree with their opinions? Even if you have unconventional, questionable morals, there will be a subreddit that agrees with you. Case in point, r/Stormfront is based on white supremacy, while r/Kill-Whitey advocates killing white people. What happens when all dissenting opinions are drowned out, and you are bombarded with upvotes and comments of agreement, no matter how egregious your philosophy may be? Can negative views be made worse? Can Reddit turn someone into a racist? There are many dangerous places on the internet, and Reddit is all the more dangerous due to its massive popularity. Administrators have been searching for a solution, but every ounce of censorship brings a mountain of uproar and user discontent. Due to Reddit's reputation as a bastion of free speech, censoring even the most hazardous views is seen as heresy. This free speech and complete anonymity give people a place to truly say whatever they want. Within Reddit, anyone's values, morals, and opinions can come to light, and they will find a place to be accepted. Encountering a closeted racist in the wild will tell you nothing. Finding their hiding spot on Reddit will reveal their true thought process. Because of this anonymity and user earnestness, Reddit is a popular destination for psychologists and behavioral scientists. There are countless papers and articles concerning Reddit and the behavior of users. There is also a mass of related research. For instance, internet anonymity is a tricky beast and has been studied thoroughly. Due to increasing tracking and monitoring of internet activity by governments, corporations, and websites, many internet philosophers have claimed that we are in the golden age of anonymity. A study on internet anonymity and censorship, published in the Asia-Pacific Review, argues that people should, in some way, be accountable for their actions on the internet. In the US at least, inciting violence and openly admitting to illegal activities are grounds for persecution. Given all of the negative possibilities, the author of this study, Gary Marks, argues that it is still important to preserve free speech. For Reddit, as long as users do not incite violence, they should be rightfully protected under the First Amendment. However, certain areas of Reddit do bring harm without facing consequences. The aforementioned white supremacy subreddit r/Stormfront is allegedly associated with dozens of hate crime killings. Yet, this subreddit was not shut down with the controversial bannings during 2015. Even if it had been, the Reddit users could easily migrate to another website, such as the original stormfront.org. The upside to Reddit is monitoring behavior. A user who claimed to have murdered someone was tracked down and detained by the FBI. Although this particular claim was false, other users who admit to illegal activities can face consequences if they are stupid enough to post publicly. Censoring, on top of potentially being ineffective, also brings large amounts of drama. This has become an issue recently since Reddit wants to monetize its platform more effectively. A CNBC interview with Reddit admins and founders revealed that they have plans to make Reddit more business-friendly in the coming years. To do this, Reddit began by getting rid of the most popular, harmful subreddits in 2015. The two most notable subreddits to kick the can were r/fatpeoplehate and r/coontown, subreddits that hated fat people and black people respectively. However, as mentioned before, they did not ban r/kill-whitey or r/stormfront, causing many users to question their motivations of safety. The hive mind is tricky from an administrative perspective, although it does have its benefits. According to a surprising quantitative study by Richard Mills on prominent controversial Reddit topics, users will typically normalize the content they come across. Although this can change once something reaches the front page, if new content has been inappropriately downvoted or upvoted, users will bring its score closer to 0. In this sense, Reddit users do not always seek to censor themselves. Some genuinely seek out Reddit for valid information and new perspectives. The hive mind is also useful for giving advice and providing comfort. Many users seek out r/Suicide Watch and r/relationships. Through this, suicides have been prevented and abusive relationships ended. If someone on r/relationships want to leave but isn't sure if they should, the supportive hive mind will give them the justification they seek. However, such justification is very dangerous when applied to more disturbing concepts. Perhaps the most infamous Reddit post revolved around the justification of rape. In the popular subreddit r/AMA, or r/AskMeAnything, a user posted the following question. Reddit's had a few threads about sexual assault victims, but are there any Redditors from the other side of the story? What were your motivations? Do you regret it? Although the question seemed to be genuinely curious, the resulting discussion in the comments was bad. It was so dangerous that a confirmed psychologist came to the discussion and wrote a lengthy follow-up post. Some notable parts of his post include a description of rapists' desires. Rape is a crime, which sometimes hinges directly on feelings of power over the victim. This victim is the rapist's audience. This is crucial. The audience gives the rapist pleasure, euphoric delight from unfettered witness suffering. That euphoria is intense and is possibly driven by the same neurobiology involved in a drug high. Now, when Reddit invites rapists to retell their stories, they offer an audience of thousands. The possibility that individuals reading these stories will be horrified afresh is very appealing to some rapists. It's neurobiologically very much like anticipating drug use. Consequently, the entire Ask a Rapist thread was censored. Even the psychologist lamented that speech has power, and it can be dangerous, and that he was not sure what the answer to this was. Now the question remains, can this encouraging behavior extend to worse areas of Reddit, no matter how unscrupulous they may be? To be clear, the average Reddit user is not particularly invested in the website. Despite having over 200 million unique visitors per month, the number of members is less than a fifth of that. Without an account, most of the interactions on Reddit are off-limits. For most visitors, Reddit is a quick, easy form of entertainment. While interviewing a few typical Redditors, it was found that most of them just use it to browse and pass the time. For instance, one typical user stated that he most commonly used Reddit while going to the bathroom. Because the typical Redditor does not spend much time on the site, most Redditors will not be strongly influenced by Reddit. The typical Redditors interviewed certainly were not aware of any influence Reddit might have had on them. However, they did acknowledge that Reddit's influence can be pervasive with overuse. One Redditor mentioned that his roommate, who allegedly Reddited for a minimum of 10 hours per week, was strongly influenced by Reddit. He described the change in his roommate as the following. His sense of humor was very much based in memes and common Reddit colloquialisms. Once he stopped browsing Reddit so much, his sense of humor went back to its original state. In my opinion, it was a significant improvement. However, despite influence not being obvious, there is the issue of subtle biases and censorship on the default front page of Reddit. This default page is the one that the millions of viewers without accounts will view. The most controversial default sub, as of recently, is r/News. The moderators are known for being extremist left-wing and have censored opposing views in the past. During the recent Orlando shooting, the moderators openly admitted to deleting all posts related to the shooting. Why would the moderators of a subreddit called r/News censor news of the most deadly shooting on American soil? Because the perpetrator was Muslim, and the moderators insist that a member of the Religion of Peace would never commit such acts. They went beyond censoring openly bigoted comments towards Muslims, an act which would have been understandable given Reddit's general hatred for religion, and they censored all articles related to the disaster. They even removed posts telling conscientious citizens where they could donate blood to aid the victims. While even average Redditors realized a bias in moderator censorship such as this one, smaller instances of censorship slip by unnoticed every minute. Another default that is considered controversial by many members of Reddit is R2X chromosomes, which, as the name implies, is a subreddit for women. Many users argue that this should not be a default subreddit due to its open toxicity towards males. In this subreddit, women can do no wrong and males are often villainized. Many believe that it is only a default to make Reddit more appealing to women, since Reddit users are mostly college-aged males. Reddit's default subs can be openly misogynistic, racist, anti-cop, and anti-religion, especially in the comment sections. That is an image administrators are trying to fix to appeal to a broader audience, so it is almost reasonable to keep a toxic sub such as 2X chromosomes as a default to draw in females. However, on any of the other default subs, the aforementioned prejudices are pervasive. For instance, Reddit is very quick to blame, humiliate, and stereotype women. Recently, there was a post on the front page blaming a woman for causing a car accident. Except there was no woman in the car, and the drivers and passengers were all drunk. Despite Reddit's widespread bias against women, it is unacceptable for a sub such as 2X chromosomes to turn the bigotry towards men instead. Although it is restrained, the hatred towards men on 2X is present in almost any comment section. In some way, the sexism has to be subtle, otherwise the sub would be classified as a hate sub and removed from the public side of Reddit. Most of the posts on 2X seem very innocuous, such as, "Help me throw a baby shower." However, a little digging into the comment section reveals the true nature of the sub's users. Many of the comments can be outwardly sexist. A comment on another post was, "Male immigrants are horrible towards women," and similar comments are very common. At a first glance, this bigotry is also subtle on the openly hateful subs. Surprisingly, most bad subreddits try very hard to make themselves look good. This goes for both extremist liberal and extremist conservative ideals. While 2X hates men, the rather infamous subreddit R the Red Pill hates women. However, R the Red Pill does not market itself as an anti-women sub. It claims to be a self-improvement sub for men that simply introduces them to the Red Pill philosophy. Initially, R the Red Pill does appear to be a sub dedicated to self-improvement. The first few posts on their front page are usually innocuous. Here are examples from the other day. "Forget happiness. Try this instead." A sad title, but depending on the advice given, could be quite accurate and helpful. "I'm 29, 55 pounds overweight. I joined a gym today." This is a post title that could be found on any fitness sub. The poster was genuinely interested in improving himself for the sake of his health and self-esteem. The comments were all encouraging and congratulatory. "If you are doing well financially and want to spin plates, hide your wealth." This post was a little odd, but it was not explicitly hateful towards women. Gold digging is unattractive and increasingly common from both sexes. Although these posts were all normal and innocent, digging a little deeper reveals some less savory titles. For instance, the following. "In order to defeat feminism, women must be underemployed/volunteering and live at home until they are married." And the comments were even worse. One of them advocated burning women who disagree with men to set an example. This was countered by the tactful argument that women are incapable of learning from the mistakes of others, since they lack the mental acuity to do so. This post, and the comments, are not nearly as bad as it gets on Reddit. Last year, 2 subs were banned completely for being openly hateful and dangerous. Since R the Red Pill is still around, one can only assume that these subs must have been pretty bad. These banned subs were the aforementioned R Coontown and R Fat People Hate. These subs were banned in their entirety, and only a few related posts remained. One of these was a post by a user tastefully called Great Ape Niggy, a former moderator of R Coontown. From the mature username, I was expecting a post filled with horrendous, unfounded vitriol towards blacks. Instead, the former moderator produced the opposite. He argued that R Coontown had meticulously followed Reddit's rules, and was only banned because it became popular, and thus dangerous to Reddit's image. He made the very fair point that subs such as R Kill Whitey and R Kiketown survived the wrath of the banhammer. In his post, He claimed that our Coontown tried to stay on the side of logic and facts. They openly welcomed dissent, given that a dissenter could find a valid source for their claims. Posters in support of hating black people also had to provide strong sources. A post claiming that all black people are bad with nothing to back it up would be removed. A post with statistics and relevant news reports would be upvoted to the front. Any decent statistician can tell you that statistics can be manipulated to support any claim you want to make. However, statistics and hard, cold facts provide the guise of logic, reasoning, and justification for horror views. Because these toxic subreddits appear normal on the surface, they are much more dangerous than if they openly spewed bigoted garbage. This is how the internet can turn someone into a racist. The Reddit echo chamber can make negative opinions worse when they are constantly upvoted and otherwise supported by users. On top of that, dissenting opinions are removed, downvoted to oblivion, or vehemently argued against. Due to Reddit's complete anonymity, people can say literally whatever they want. Redditors face no consequences for any of the posts they make, no matter how horrible those views might be. On Reddit, people can review their darkest, most sinister sides and be accepted. As shown by numerous studies, anonymity often brings out the truth, since it removes all social repercussions. Because there really is a subreddit for everything, any unconventional view can find its place on Reddit. This Reddit echo chamber, complete anonymity, and lack of social controls can truly bring out the worst in people. However, you don't necessarily have to hold these negative opinions to be drawn into the chaos. Because the toxic subreddits make an effort to justify their opinions and appear as innocuous as possible, normal Reddit users are converted to the dark side. When an R the Red Pillar discusses his acceptance of Red Pill philosophy, he doesn't say, "I descended into utter misogyny." Instead, they commonly claim to have found the light or seen the truth in this subreddit. The same things happen on the racist subs, where people will say, "I never thought X race was so bad until I came here and realized the truth." Imagine this, an argument or altercation with someone. Let's say your opponent is of a different race than you. You would probably complain to your friends who, in normal society, would assure you that the offending party was an asshole, or stupid, or anything insulting that you know they want to hear. Now, let's say the altercation has some basis in race. Maybe it was something as egregious as a person attacking you screaming, "Hitler rises again," or maybe it was subtle. Either way, if you turned your anger towards a hateful sub, you would be received with open arms. Even if all you wanted to do was vent and have someone agree with you, suddenly your enemy is torn apart by these helpful internet strangers. As they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Frustration towards a single bad situation could turn into a newfound hatred towards the perpetrator. Although this may seem far-fetched for a racially charged situation, it happens on R the Red Pill all the time. Men, embittered by a nasty breakup or other conflict with a woman, turn to R the Red Pill for advice and to vent their frustrations, and they will be told that she was a bitch who wasn't worthy of him. And here's how he can be successful. But, to be successful, you must first accept our philosophy that all women are bitches. If you want to have a wonderful, happy future, you have to listen to our advice, no matter how outrageous it may seem. And who wouldn't want to accept their new internet friends? It is well known that a large fraction of serious Redditors are not the most social people. Many openly admit to it in their own posts and comments. Reddit might be the only friend they have, because normal society mocks and shuts down any bigoted views they have. Redditors bottle them up and send them straight to the internet. They will find a place that has no dissent, where all they hear is what they want to hear. Whatever negative views users have will be unconditionally supported somewhere, and thus the internet turns people into racists. What are the possible solutions to this dilemma? Censoring is a very dangerous road to go down. When Reddit censored our Coontown, there was a community uproar. It wasn't because users supported the ideals our Coontown held, but because they supported free speech. Suddenly, administrators and users who do not defend our Coontown became the bad guys. That is, people who sympathize with black people and aren't complete racists became the proverbial Hitler of the internet. Case in point, Ellen Pao, the former Reddit CEO responsible for all of these bannings, is vilified on the website to this day. The censoring of R. Coontown justified the user's racial hatred to many. Because other horrible, hateful subs did not receive the same treatment, it appeared that Reddit was favoring only one race. Yes, it is a good thing to support black people, but to ignore the hatred towards all other races, sexual orientations, nationalities, etc. was a bad idea. Reddit should have brought the ban hammer down on more than just R. Coontown, which meticulously followed Reddit's rules. That said, the massive banning suggested is not a clear-cut solution either. Say Reddit had gotten rid of all the hateful subs, from the wildly conservative r Stormfront to the overly leftist r shit Reddit says. The users there would simply find somewhere else to go. R Stormfront is based off of the website stormfront.org, a site dedicated to white supremacy. Reddit made it easy, but the true diehards will find a way to spread their hatred somehow. A massive banning would further pigeonhole the bigots until they were surrounded by only the most dedicated bigots. Case in point, many users that frequented r Fat People Hate moved to Vote, a competing website in the same style as Reddit, but with fewer rules. The Fat People Hate is horrific. While r Fat People Hate tried to base their views in solid peer-reviewed science, the Vote channel is pure vitriol. Chasing away bigots will not change their views, it will only strengthen them. One solution is to simply let the bigots stay. Let them be out in the open where people can observe them and acknowledge that they exist. An oft-repeated philosophy for defending against such craziness is to know your enemy. Banning free speech in the name of justice will turn so many more people against your cause, no matter how just you might think it is. Let the internet turn people into racists, because fighting it will give them so much more attention. Ultimately, if someone wants to be hateful, they will be. The internet is the greatest source of information, and its anonymity can make anything possible. A black man can sit in on a virtual KKK meeting and find out who supports them. A woman can go to R the Red Pill and know how to spot men who bind to the misogyny. Although denizens of the internet can be influenced by these horrible things, we can also learn from them.